Hi, Naomi Stockman from my local hypnosis. I'm going to talk to you today about the difference between supporting someone and enabling someone. So, what is enabling and why is it killing people? This discussion is really relevant to a lot of people, good people who are generous and caring and empathetic, and who have a family member or someone that they love or care about who's self-destructive, self-sabotaging. Perhaps someone has a failure to launch. They might have an addiction, a disorder of some type, maybe even a disability, which is making life difficult for them to achieve a level of independence, autonomy, and success that other people can achieve easily. So these good people have a pain in their heart for someone that they love. And if you're the person who's emotionally invested, you might be a parent, a partner, a child. You might be a sister or brother or grandparent. Whatever that relationship is, it can be so heartbreaking to experience someone you love struggle in life. You feel as though you want to help. You want to make life easier for them. And the more you help, the worse they get. It just doesn't make any sense. If they are unable to pay their bills, surely it is the loving thing to do to help them. If they have no food, surely it is the loving thing to do to feed them. If they are addicted, surely the best thing you can do is to arrange rehabilitation, support them, to understand the illness behind the behavior, behind that pain, behind that suffering. And you know that they're in pain because you probably knew them before. You know them as a person, and no one deserves to suffer, especially when the things they can't do are things that you can easily do. And perhaps you have the money to pay for things. Perhaps you are capable of doing things for them or solving their problems for them, providing them with a roof over their head while they malfunction. And it can be a wide range of things depending on the issues. And then there's the guilt around their unhappiness or suffering. And not only that, but the guilt, shame, and self-blame that in some way, this is your fault. If I hadn't done this or done that. And honestly, these statements might be true. If there hadn't been a divorce or an accident or a traumatic event, if things had been more ideal in the past, then perhaps this person would have developed differently. Things might be different. And often there's also an absolute possibility that their behaviour, if not stopped, will lead to death. Drugs, alcohol, eating disorders, depression, suicide, risk-taking behaviours, or whatever that person is doing. And there is the knowing that if they died, the question will remain, is there something I could have done differently? If I had spent more time, if I had spent more money on therapy, if I hadn't let them do this or do that, or I'd said something else, done something else, perhaps things would be different. So let's have a look at why sometimes helping people is not helping people. To quote a line out of my book, Simple Shortcuts to Winning at Life, it is by adversity that we grow. And it is true. If you cut a butterfly out of its cocoon, it will never fly. The struggle, solving that restriction, is what strengthens us. And how good does it feel when we achieve something for ourselves? It's that pride that saves lives and gives people belief in themselves and a feeling of self-worth. When you act as the crutch for a person, prevent them from solving their own problems, we're essentially robbing them of their purpose. And we give them a message that says, I don't believe in you. I have no faith in your ability. I'm better capable of solving this than you are. Without me, you are nothing. I am the hero in your story. You are the failure. You are the problem. I am the good person. You are. Well, you're bad. When you rob someone of their problems, you are stealing the most valuable thing they have, opportunity. An opportunity to have victory. Sure, they might fail, but those failures are when you can help. You can encourage them. You can cheer them on. Not solve, not do for, but stand beside. And don't think because I'm a therapist that I'm above all this. No, the reason I know this stuff is because I've dealt with it in my life. I've made the mistakes more than once. I've watched other people in my family make the mistakes. I've even been the one receiving the help and felt that shame of having my responsibilities, my opportunities taken from me by well-meaning people who love me. And I can say with 100% certainty, how to support without enabling is a very, very important thing to know. Support without enabling is empowering to both parties. Support which enables is disempowering to at least one person and creates dependency rather than independency. And it's a very slippery slope and very easy to slip into. But we'll talk about the difference a little bit later on. So now we can do an exercise, and if you'd like to play along here, maybe get a notepad or a pen, press pause if you like, and make a list of all the times when you have prevented someone from learning a lesson. Think about all those times when you have been more capable than someone else and you have done something for them that they have found difficult to do themselves. It may be a friend, it may be a child, it can be anyone where someone had a problem and you fixed it for them. An employee, a sibling, a spouse, anyone where they had a problem and you solved it for them, preventing them from learning how to do it themselves. Where you took the victory, you were the dominant one, you were the solution to the problem, and they couldn't or didn't solve it. And the defining thing here is that it is their problem and you have taken that problem away, or help them in a way where they no longer had to find the resources, the skills or solutions to a situation. It can be as simple as making a phone call for someone, booking an appointment for someone, doing anything for someone, paying for something for someone, taking that responsibility for doing something for someone. If you're providing a home and food and power for someone. And if you're going to pause the video, pause it now. Great. If you have a list, fantastic for being so honest with yourself. Perhaps you're not an enabler and you don't have a list, which is fabulous too. Now we're going to examine what it is you believed to be true about this person, about this situation, for you to help them. And you can pause the video again, just write down every belief, the ones about yourself, the ones about them, the ones about the situation, and the beliefs about what would have happened if you hadn't stepped in to save the day. And you can pause the video now. Common ones are things like, I can help, so I should. Not helping someone in need is cruel and cold-hearted. They can't do this on their own. They're going through a really tough time. They can't help it. If I don't do something, something bad will happen. If I don't help, they will miss out on something. They're not capable. They need rescuing. They will never learn, they'll never change, they'll never be able to without help. It's my responsibility as a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a friend, etc. I have the solution. If I leave it to them, they will solve it badly. It's easier to do it myself. If I don't fix this, the problem will get worse. Or perhaps they will, or they might go to jail, or they might end up on the street, they might lose their job, they might suffer needlessly, they might owe more money. It's an absolute certainty that these beliefs may have some substantiation, that your help is avoiding an immediate consequence. You wouldn't be helping if you didn't care. And the intention is 100% in the right place. You don't want the pain, the discomfort of watching them suffer or watching them balls it up when you know you can easily do it. Let's look at what you would need to believe about this person, about this situation, about the outcomes of the situation for you to be able to make a new choice and instead say, gee, that's a really tough situation. How will you solve this? Maybe pause here again and write some answers down. What would you need to believe instead? So it would be okay to leave the problem in their hands for them to solve. Okay, so I'll never know what you wrote down, but some common ones are, they can work this out. They are capable. I am not the answer to this problem. It's not my problem. It's okay for them to learn the hard way. Suffering is the way people gain motivation and reason to change. Pain is sometimes necessary as a consequence for people to learn. If I take this pain away, I am preventing this person from learning. I can support this person exactly as they are without rescuing them. I am not responsible. I believe this situation will have the most positive outcome if I don't interfere. Tough love means I have to be strong for this person's benefit. It might be uncomfortable to stand back and watch them suffer or balls this up, but they need to learn. Did you have any of those on your list? Perhaps you had some that were completely different. And the thing is that the beliefs required for you to engage in enabling behavior are disempowering to that person you are helping. And the beliefs required for you to support someone, let them learn their own lessons, are empowering to the other person. Yes, they might fail. Yes, it might turn out to be the sinking of the Titanic, but that is part of them being accountable for themselves, for taking responsibility of their own life. So how do we provide empowering support for someone without enabling? How can we know the difference between helping someone and enabling someone? When is it okay to help and how much? I've created a checklist for helping in a healthy way. Questions to ask yourself. The first one is, have I been directly asked for help? And if so, what specifically has the person asked me to do? Many times when we enable someone, we do it as good Samaritans. We just pick up the slack when the person has not actually asked us for help, or they haven't asked us for the help that we are providing. Remember, someone telling you their problem does not constitute asking for help. Even when we know the answer to their problem, do not provide the answers. Instead, ask questions, constructive questions. Like, how can you solve this? How do you want this situation to turn out? What is the first step? When will you do that? Let them know you're interested. Let them know you care. Do not offer the solution unless they ask for your help directly. Ask them, what would you do? What will you do? The second thing to ask yourself, if you have been asked for help, is this request only part of the solution, or is it the whole solution? You should never be the full solution to the problem. Let's look at a random problem as an example. Let's say I need to get a box of apples delivered to the Prime Minister by midday tomorrow. I know, it's a ridiculous problem, but it's a problem, and it can be used as an example just as good as anything else. So the solution requires a few parts. Firstly, I have to find a box of apples. Secondly, I have to pay for the box of apples. Thirdly, I need to check where to deliver the apples. And fourth, I need to find someone to deliver the apples, or I need to deliver them myself. Let's assume that I am the enablee, the enabled person in your life. If I say to you, I have to deliver a box of apples to the Prime Minister by midday tomorrow, or I'm going to lose my job, and you think to yourself, I can easily buy the apples and drive them over, all the while thinking, she doesn't have the money for the apples. She has no clue how to arrange this. It won't get done. She'll lose her job. She'll end up broke, destitute, have no way to pay her rent, end up on my doorstep. I have to buy and deliver the apples. See how easy it is to jump to the solution when you believe all those things, those disempowering things. This is called enabling, because you've just taken that person's problem, made it your own, and solved it yourself. They didn't have to do a thing. So let's go back to step one. Ask the questions. Wow, really? How will you get the apples to the Prime Minister by midday? And then wait for them to answer. If they throw you a victim line, and this is a tactic of people who are enabled, like, I don't know, I guess I'll lose my job. Answer with something like, well, if you can't do it, I guess so, and then move on and leave it with them. Do not take the bait. If you have been solving problems for them in the past, they might get angry. They might expect you to solve the problems, because enabling is a codependent relationship, and there is an expectation. We expect the most from people who do the most for us. And when you withdraw that help, the person doesn't just stand up and start looking after themselves. They might feel angry. You've taken my right to grow strong up till now, and now you've dropped me. It might be uncomfortable for them, but that's okay. Ask only questions. Do not make statements or give advice. The questions can be all about the answer to the problem. Where could you get a box of apples from? Do you have a way to check the address? Will you deliver them in person? If they are rude, just say, I really hope you work it out. Let me know how you go. Don't engage. If they ask you for help, it should only be part of the solution. And it must be evident that they are taking responsibility and taking action. For example, I found a place that sells apples. They only take payment by card. Can I put this on your card until I get paid? And I'll get an Uber to pick them up and drop them off using my Uber account. So they're asking for part of the solution, and they're responsible for organising everything. Set boundaries around your help. Make sure that there are limits. Yes, you can use my card, but it must be paid back by Friday. Yes, you can borrow the car, but you bring it back with the tank full by 8 p.m. or you will not lend it again, and stick to it. Boundaries are essential in all healthy relationships. Boundaries and expectations. If you have no expectations from a person, you are already doing damage. You need to expect from others and let them know exactly what you expect. Say no. That's the next point. Say no. If someone is engaging in behaviour which is self-destructive, dangerous to themselves or others, or illegal, say no. I love you, but I will not support you doing that. If you can choose to continue that lifestyle, I'm sorry, but I cannot be a part of it. Withdraw all help unless they pick up their bundle of responsibility and start carrying it for themselves. Yes, many have fallen, many have died, but many more have fallen and died while being enabled to continue their activities without natural consequences. Without that opportunity to feel angry, to stand up, to hit rock bottom. Rock bottom is not possible if you hold people up. And sometimes people do need to hit rock bottom to bounce back. Hovering 3 inches from rock bottom, completely dependent on others, is no place to be. The next point is that money does not solve problems. If the solution is money, there is a deeper or more extensive problem beneath that problem. The next point is to ask them for help. Everyone needs to feel needed. Everyone needs to feel important, worthwhile. And whoever it is you are supporting, keep the energy in that relationship balanced. There needs to be giving and there needs to be receiving. You need to ask them to help you as well. They need to give. Giving into a relationship is super important. So make sure you ask them for their contribution and thank them for it. The last point is on how to give support. Support means showing interest. It means listening. It means encouraging, asking questions. It means believing in that person and expressing that care, not expressing worry. It means celebrating their wins, even the small ones. It means being available and present to do all these things. And that's the role of a family. And that's what everyone craves in their life. Everybody needs in their life is a family, a group of people to belong to where they're cared for and loved and needed. So the checklist for supporting someone without enabling them is: number 1, expect them to find the solution themselves. Number 2, listen, ask questions, show interest. Number 3, do not offer the answers. Number 4, wait to be asked for your help. Number 5, only be part of the solution. Let them do the majority. They need to be responsible. They need to be the one to take action. Number 6 is to set boundaries. Number 7 is to tell them your expectations, what's expected of them. Number 8 is say no. If their behavior is illegal, life-threatening, against your moral principles, say no. And number 9 is to ask them to help you in return. Keep that energy in the relationship balanced and allow them to contribute. Every challenge that we're presented with in our lives comes to us because we need that experience to help us grow. So if you're attracting into your life these situations, that's the opportunity for you to overcome this. This is a great opportunity. Nothing is bad. That's my belief. No matter how bad it feels, how bad it seems, just embrace the lesson, be open to it, be grateful and present in the moment, and believe in that person that you love and care about. Believe in them. Believe in their ability, believe in their future, see only good things. And whenever you imagine all the worst for their future, all those fears that are inside you, and they are inside you, shut them down, push them away, and replace them with positive intentions for this person's future, and see only good things for them. Because you need to believe in a good future for this person for you to not enable them, for you to support them in a healthy way. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I hope to speak to you again soon. Naomi Stockman, My Local Hypnosis.